what I said after the Bears lost to the Eagles was some version of, damn, man. Like, it's so impressive to me. Not that Chase Claypool is special yet or that Darnell Mooney is special yet, but they weren't there. And he was throwing to Byron Pringle and Equanimous St. Brown and a guy named Simba Webster. And he was 14 of 21 with 2 touchdowns, no picks, led the NFL that week in passer rating, and no quarterback this year had thrown for 2 touchdowns with no interceptions against the number 1 pass defense in the NFL, which was Philly. Like, I came away so impressed given what he had and the caliber of the opponent. Am I being too soft on my grading of Justin Fields?
No, plus he also ran, I think, for 100 yards, didn't he? I mean, it was close to it.
Yeah, I'll get you the exact number.
I told you guys last week that what you were going to see was going to see a team that had a much better roster than your team, but you would keep it much closer than the Giants did because your quarterback is better than the Giants quarterback, and your quarterback's only in the league for 2 years, and the Giants quarterback's been in the league, for 4 years.
Right.
And, and he was going to make up for the discrepancy in talent just because he's so freaking talented himself. So I'm right there with you, man. I'm telling you, now they got to do exactly what Philadelphia did with Jalen Hurts, and quite frankly, he may be better than Jalen Hurts. And that's saying a lot right now. He may his arc it could be better. Jalen's a great athlete. I think that Justin is like Superman. I mean, Justin is like a combination of a young Cam Newton, who was incredible and won an MVP in this league, and he's got the arm strength of like any one of the top quarterbacks in the league today. So now, once they kind of refine the guy who he is and refine his overall game, it won't be as chaotic and it won't seem as, spur of the moment play here, spur of the moment play there. It will be a little bit more like what Jalen Hurts has turned into. He's turned into more of a refined passer, what Josh Allen has turned into, more of a refined passer. So this week you got Josh Allen. Last week you had Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
So watch Josh play this week and look at the team around him. Obviously he's got a great team around him, and that Brandon Beane, that GM, did exactly what Howie Roseman did in Philadelphia. They built around that young quarterback. So that's what Poles has got to do now. They got to build around what we now all believe is they struck lightning. They got the guy that looks like he can be the next dual threat quarterback, but maybe even be better than the 2 guys that you're going to see in these next 2 weeks.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. So I said the same thing about Hurts. I was not prepared to say the same thing about Allen. I don't know that Fields can get there. I hope he can. So you think he could be better than Josh Allen also?
Well, I think that's the ceiling. I think that's what you got to shoot for. Look, he doesn't have the team around him that Josh Allen has around him, and he doesn't have the team around him that Jalen Hurts has around him.
Right.
But yet, when you still watch him, Danny, it's like worth the price of admission. I mean, you can't wait to see what he's going to do next. And Josh was that kid, that second year in the league. And quite frankly, Buffalo Bills fans were frustrated with Josh Allen his second year. They didn't think he was, really ever going to be that good. And then the third year came, just kind of like Jalen Hurts is in his third year right now. And all of a sudden the refinement came. Now all of a sudden you saw a guy able to read defenses, go from one guy to the third guy on the other side of the field within the progression of the offense. But, man, there's one thing you can't take away from, Josh Allen and Justin Fields and Jalen Hurts is that they're fearless on the football field. They're fearless. And they want to run with it, and they want to get hit, and they want to get into the game. And that's why all 3 of them have the respect of their respective locker rooms.
Yeah, and it felt also, because of the talent discrepancy around him, like before the game started, if you would have just flipped the quarterbacks, I don't think Jalen Hurts keeps the game that close.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I'm telling you, I didn't realize how good of an athlete he was. I knew, and I think we talked about this at the beginning of the season.
Yeah. And,
they played in that slop in the first game against, San Francisco. They won the game, and you could see some of it. But there was a middle part of the season, I think it was right after the bye, when Luke Getsy kind of modified the plays that he was calling and trying to get Justin into a comfort zone where they could use his athleticism to help some of the problems that they have offensively. And then all of a sudden he took off. And, that's coaching. That's going to be good. And hopefully, I don't think with a, 3-win season or a 4-win season, whatever it turns out to be for the Bears, they're going to lose Luke Getty as an offensive coordinator and to a head coach somewhere. I think he's going to stay there, which hopefully is going to be the case for Matt Eberflus because, that side of it, if you have Luke there and you have that offense building there and you can build around this young superstar, then that's going to make everything so much easier for everybody because I think it's the personalities that mesh that bring out the best in players. And I can say that's what it looks like is happening out there in Chicago.
Two more things for you as we're talking to Boomer Esiason. One, a technical quarterback question. It feels like Justin Fields, the 10 out of 10 difficulty plays, the things that basically no one else can do, he makes it look easy. It feels to me like it's just natural athleticism taking over. But some of the more regimented stuff, snap throw, get the ball out to your receiver on the edge, sometimes he rushes it, airmails it, spikes it, whatever. It's like he doesn't hit the layups as easily as he should. I assume that's correctable. What do you? If I tell you I've watched every pass of his multiple times this year, and that's a thing, how would you explain why that is a thing?
Well, that's what we're talking about: refinement, getting better at the easy stuff. And here in New York, and you'll watch Thursday night, and poor Zach Wilson. I mean, he's just with the weather and everything that's coming down on him, and the fact that he's 22 years old.
Yeah.
I mean, these are young kids. These are immature kids. These kids are playing the game way too fast. They're playing it way too nervous, and they're relying on their athleticism, and that's what that's the normal aspect. And then when he comes back next year, hopefully he's going to take the steps that Josh Allen took, that Jalen Hurts took. So when you look back at Josh and Jalen, and you look at their second years. You see a lot of the same stuff. But I have to tell you, Josh and Jalen were playing with better players. I think Howie Roseman is probably going to be the executive of the year, the way that he built around Jalen this year. And I would tell you that Brandon Beane was probably that last year or the year before because they went out and got Steph Diggs and they built around Josh to help him get to become the player that he is right now. And the same thing was going on in Kansas City, by the way. With Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. So I would say that Justin is right on track, and I wouldn't worry about some of the easy stuff that he's missing right now. All of that stuff will calm down, and next year he'll be even better.